Check. Hoo. Been a while since we've done this here. As all of you probably already know, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity has a demo. And I've got way too much to say about it, so let's go ahead and jump right in. What's up, guys? Welcome back, or welcome in for the first time. If you are new here, do me a quick favor, hit the link in the description to our Discord, and I'll see you in there after this video. Okay, one thing I do want to address before we jump into the demo is Divine Beasts Playable confirmed. Not only did we get the demo today, but they also dropped a trailer which showed us clear footage of the Divine Beasts Playable. They are playable. I've had so much going on today that I've actually only got to watch the trailer one time as of right now, but I'm probably watching it again as I'm putting the footage in for you guys to see here. Anyway, that's huge. That's a big deal. That is one major question I actually had, and now that's answered. They're really giving us a ton of information about this game, and I'm genuinely I'm so excited I cannot contain myself. But I will do my best. Guys, let's go ahead and talk about this demo, because it's pretty good. The first thing I really want to say about this demo is I think a lot of people, including myself, sort of thought this was going to be a lot more like a Warriors game. I really hoped, and I think I've talked about in a few other videos, that it wasn't just like every other Warriors game, that it had its own sort of version of a Warriors game, and that is exactly what we are getting. In my opinion, this is much more along the lines of an extension of Breath of the Wild than it is an extension of the original Hyrule Warriors. Not only in just the way that it looks visually, obviously, but the sounds, the items, yes, all the items that you get in Breath of the Wild you get in this. The same weapons, the same fish, other materials, it's all there. The map is also another thing. I think they did a fantastic job with making you feel like you are just playing another Breath of the Wild game. So I actually want to jump into some of that stuff very quickly before we get into the gameplay. I really do like the way that they've implemented the map into this game. The way that they use it still gives you that sense of an open world, even though it's not. You're obviously going to just be playing individual missions, side missions. We'll get into all that in a little bit. But they do a really good job keeping that Breath of the Wild feel, and I feel like the way they're doing that is because of that map. So this is something that is completely different than the original Hyrule Warriors. They're using the Sheikah Towers as pretty much the way you travel around the map. So as I said again, it gives you that open world feel. You don't get to explore, but you kind of set your point on the map of where you want to go, and then it shows a little animation of Link, you know, disappearing, and then it's just done really well. It still gives you that Breath of the Wild feel, and that is really what I was hoping this game had. It's got just way more of a Breath of the Wild feel than a Warriors feel. I've said that a few times, but I mean, that's really the thing that stood out to me the most about this demo. Now, as far as you can get in the demo is right before you can pick one of the 4 places to go start finding the champions. And you can go to any one of those you want first. So they do also keep that sense of the freedom that Breath of the Wild had to let you go pick, you know, which area you wanted to go explore first. It's implemented into the game seamlessly. So again, there are some other things you can unlock on the map, like stables. Stables are back. That's where you're gonna be doing a lot of shopping. There's a blacksmith. There's a couple other things here and there. But the way you unlock these and start to be able to use them is you use the materials that you find out in the levels. You have to have, let's say, you know, 3 of these types of bugs, or 3 of these types of fish. And if you have all those things, then you can unlock that stable and start shopping from there. Some have guardian parts, some have certain fish, some, you know, each one has its own little thing, it looks like. There are also other little points on the map, just like that, where you're gonna get perks for your different characters. You can see the little symbols. They're kind of hard to tell apart, but one of them's Zelda, one's Impa, one's Link, and when you click on those, if you have all of the things that you need to upgrade, it'll go ahead and let you do that. It'll give you another heart. It may let you extend your combos. I guess it really just depends on which one it is. We didn't get a whole lot of those, but it did have some, so you got to see kind of the progression of your characters and how that's gonna work. And again, I think all that stuff works really well. That is one reason I actually never finished the original Hyrule Warriors. First, it didn't really have a story that grabbed me and really kept me wanting to play, which this already completely has me. I cannot wait to find out what happens next. But the original Hyrule Warriors didn't really have that. And obviously, being a Warrior-style game, the gameplay kind of got repetitive, so it didn't really hold my attention all that much. Along with the fact that the menu system and the upgrades and all that stuff, I didn't really understand it. I mean, maybe it's just me, but it was all very confusing to me and I didn't really like it, so I never finished that game. With this, I feel like they have made this so accessible to someone, especially if you've played Breath of the Wild. If you're familiar with Breath of the Wild at all, really, just the menu systems, the way things look, the way things work in Breath of the Wild, you are gonna jump right in this and pretty much know what you're doing. I think it's absolutely amazing how seamless they have made these two games just come together. It's amazing. That's all I'm gonna talk about with the map and all that stuff, but I really wanted to bring it up because I feel like it is one of the things that really stood out to me in this demo. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the actual gameplay. In this demo, I would say there's about anywhere from about an hour to an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, depending on if you're having some trouble, which I had a little bit of trouble. I also took a break. It took me about 2 hours to get through all the content. And I actually found something just now when I was grabbing some screenshots that you're probably looking at now. I found one that I missed completely. So you end up getting 3 side missions, I think, a couple other little things here and there, some training, and then you get 2 of the main story missions. Now the first one is obviously the one we've seen in the first trailer, the second, in all the trailers. That one happens right outside of Hyrule Castle. It's kind of a training thing. It's kind of just letting you know what you need to do here and there. You start out as Link, and then very soon into that mission, you do unlock Impa. And we're gonna go over all the characters in just a second. But as I said, this one's kind of a training area. It just kind of shows you what you're doing. But at the same time, there is a lot going on. It's super fun. This game is really fun. I don't think this gameplay is going to be quite as repetitive as the original Hyrule Warriors was. It seems to me like there's a whole lot more going on here. Things are just balanced a little bit better, if that makes any sense. Obviously, this is just a demo, first impressions, but that's kind of the sense I get right now. Everything seems to be a little more balanced, and I think that makes it a lot more fun. The second area I thought was really cool, and you know, if you haven't played the demo, I guess I'm gonna go into some spoilers here, but fighting that Guardian was actually very difficult. I don't know if you guys had a lot of trouble with that or how you ended up defeating the Guardian, but I do want to know about that in the comments. So leave me a comment below and let me know how you ended up defeating that Guardian, because I have a feeling the way I did it is probably not the same way you did it, and I feel like that might be intentional. I feel like that might be something that Nintendo and Koei Tecmo have done to kind of keep that whole Breath of the Wild feel. You know, there's like more than one way to do things in Breath of the Wild. Maybe. Might be a stretch, but let me know in the comments how you defeated the Guardian, and we'll see. So like I already said, you start out playing as Link. Soon after that, you get Impa, and then halfway through the second story mission, you also can play as Zelda. Now, we'll start out with Link. I'm just gonna say, like, he's the basic character, you know what I mean? Like, you know his moveset. Chances are you've already played the demo, but in my opinion, I thought Link was good. He's fine. It was exactly what I expected. I think using him is perfectly fine. I used him most of the time, actually, but I will say the best character to play as, I think, is pretty obvious, and that's Impa. She is insane. Honestly, some of it I'm so confused, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'll admit, I don't know her moveset that well, but just watching what's happening on screen is just insane. Watching her mow through these giant hordes of enemies is very satisfying. She is, in my opinion, so far from the 3 we got, she's the best playable character. She's super fast, her moves just look awesome. But there is a third character haven't talked about yet, and that's Zelda. She's not bad. I like her moveset. It's all done with the Sheikah slate. She doesn't punch or kick or hit or do anything else except the slate. That's all she does. And I will say, while all the controls, the buttons are basically laid out the same for each character, the way the moves work and the things you can do with them are all different. I will say that Zelda's probably the one I've used the least. So I'm not that familiar with her moveset yet. I do like it, I'm just not very good with her. Obviously, I'm probably gonna go back and play this like 20 times. I'm definitely gonna have to restart the game completely when it drops on the 20th. Looking at the next missions, I think it says it recommends you're like a level 6, and I think I have Link at like level 13 right now, so that's gonna be way too much. It's probably gonna end up being way too easy. So I'm gonna have to start this over and probably play all this one more time when it comes out, but I'm totally fine with that. I did play through everything once on the TV, not this one, the one down at the studio. I played it once there on the TV, and then I just played through it again in handheld mode. And I will say, on the TV, it looks absolutely fantastic. It looks really crisp, it looks really good. Handheld mode, it still looks good. It still looks pretty good. I was expecting a little bit more in handheld mode. It's a little blurry in handheld mode. Like, if you were to compare what Breath of the Wild looks like in handheld mode and this, in my opinion, I think Breath of the Wild looks a little bit better in handheld mode. And I did notice very slight frame rate issues, but I mean, honestly, it was there. I mean, it wasn't much, but I did notice it, so I do want to mention it if you haven't played it. It's something they could easily fix with a patch, a day one patch, and it's totally possible that that's something that we might get, but just from what we got in this demo, I can say pretty confidently at this point that this game is exactly what I was hoping for. I mean, obviously, you know, we'll have to wait for the final review. I want to see what the story's all about and how all this ties into Breath of the Wild 2. But so far, what I've seen, I absolutely am in love with this game and I cannot wait to play the entire thing. But guys, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this video off right here. We've already talked way too long about a demo, but I'm sure a lot of you guys have played this. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Make sure, like I said, you guys go into the description of this video, click the link to our Discord. We can talk about it in there. All that said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please leave a like, make sure you are subscribed, and we'll see you in the next one.